is up, YouTube? Today is January 7th, 2019, and we have some pretty hardcore news out of the South China Sea. So, as you all know, over the last year or so, we've been having trade issues with China. And the latest and greatest is that if they won't budge on a fair trade deal with the United States, that Trump is threatening a $228 billion tariff pretty much on all Chinese imported goods, which we all know in America is one of the biggest suppliers of American goods, is China. All our stuff from Walmart, everywhere else, is always made in China. So today, the US Warship, it was a battleship, cruised on into the South China Sea, got a little too close. China deployed one of their battleships to intercept, along with scrambling fighter jets. The fighter jets did a flyover, and the Chinese battleship came within yards of our battleship, almost causing a wreck. When China arrived on the scene, they demanded that the US warship turn around and digress from Chinese waters. There was a little bit of back and forth there from what I understand, but we did retreat back into a safe distance that China deemed acceptable. China is calling this an act of aggression and an act of war. China also just put out a publication getting its military ready and told their soldiers to prepare for a war with the United States in 2019. And this is quite scary when you look at the last year and a half that we've dealt with China. You know, China is claiming that they are ready to use force against American Navy, including not only firing upon, but ramming our warships. They have threatened to take over the Philippines and Taiwan by force if necessary to reclaim Chinese property. And, you know, the Philippines and Taiwan are some of the biggest U.S. allies in the South China Sea. You have the Taiwan army and government now publicly prepping their military and warning their troops to ready a fight in 2019 with China. You know, that going back to China telling their troops to ready a fight with the United States. You know, I guess you can kick it back to, you know, grade school rules. You know, the two biggest kids in the playground, they're bound to fight one day. And, you know, I personally think America and China, you know, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. You know, we did fight some Chinese, definitely, in Korea and a little bit in Vietnam, but nothing compared to what it would be now. My big fear is once, you know, big ships start sinking in the seas, you know, it could highly elevate to a nuclear situation or even an EMP situation. Once either side starts losing, you know, billion-dollar naval fleets, you know, naval ships, things like that, you know, there could come a time where either side would be willing to escalate to a nuclear war to save their beloved fleets. You know, that's my opinion. I don't have no fact on that. That's just what I believe. You know, the Navy has always been the pride and joy of, you know, especially United States and China. So when you start sinking naval vessels, aircraft carriers, things like that, you know, tensions are going to get really high. You know, there's theories floating around the internet about everything, but one of the theories is why we're bringing troops home from Syria, which not too sure if we are now or not, but we brought troops home from Europe, Australia, some places in the Middle East, Iraq and stuff. We're bringing all these troops home. And a lot of people are throwing around the idea that it's not necessarily to bring the troops home, but it's to regroup the troops and get them mobilized for a major event. And, you know, you start looking at what's going on in the world, You know, the tension that we have going on with China right now, that's easily a major, major event. You know, if the United States kicks it off with China, there's no doubt Russia, Iran, they're all going to get involved. You know, Canada is going to get involved in our allies. But it's going to turn into, if we do go, you know, fisticuffs with China, it's not just going to be the U.S. and China. Other people are going to get involved, and it is going to turn into a world war. And it is going to either be a long, drawn out, with millions of people dying war, or it's going to be a short, quick thermonuclear war. One of the two is bound to happen. So, anyways, it's very scary times. I thought I'd report on this real quick. And thank you for choosing Alpha Survival. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, catch you on the flip side.